beautiful.
Cal Poly, Fresno, and Chico. I missed the deadline for.
All right, do we want to go ahead and get started? I do not want to gavel, because I do not want to really be in charge. So we'll call our meeting to order at 6:16.
I didn't say.
I think what we'll do first is go around and introduce ourselves just for the good of the order, and then we'll ask Freshwater to lead us in our flag salute and pledge, and then they'll come back when we do open forum. I'm Joan Crandall, and I'm with Arcata Bottom 4-H, and I'm on the management team.
I'm Katrine Holman. I'm the 4-H Trail in Trinidad and Arcata Bottom 4-H, and I'm budget director. And I'm also Lucas' mom. Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm with Miranda 4-H and management team, and I'm the STEM coordinator, and I'm the new lead coordinator for the North.
I am Jonathan, and I treasurer of Miranda 4-H, and I'm also a Humboldt County ambassador, and I am also a Team STEM advisor.
My name is Lucas Homan. I'm from Arcata Bottom 4-H and 4-H Trail, and I'm on the management, ambassador team.
My name is Brody. This year's vice president for Freshwater 4-H, and I'm also a 4-H ambassador, and I'm helping run the North Coast Youth Summit.
Hi, my name is Haley Benbow. I'm the vice president of Fortuna 4-H, and I'm also an ambassador.
Gabrielle, I'm the president of Heisel 4-H, and I'm also a 4-H ambassador.
My name is Sarah Chapman. I am a co-community leader for Heisel 4-H, and I am the, what am I?
You are the
Animal science.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
No, I didn't put Heisel.
Yay!
I'm Amanda Larson from Heisel 4-H. I'm also incentives and recognition. What's it called? Manager committee.
Well, you're the director.
Director. There you go.
That's the word I was looking for.
Thank you.
And I'm Thomas Stratton. I'm program representative for Delnor and Humboldt 4-H.
Up there.
I think so.
Right.
Community leader. And co-community leader.
Yay.
From Freshwater 4-H, you guys already know that. I'm the recreation. I'm the excuse from Freshwater 4-H, and I'm the reporter. I'm Jessalyn, the co-leader of Freshwater 4-H.
It's online. So
I went on there and took my name off. Official. So anyway, the co-leader, and then I also am the camp policy director and camp director.
My name is Jenna Sadler, and I am the president at Freshwater 4-H.
Alrighty. Excellent. You guys ready? Oh, I'm gonna scoot out of the way too.
you can have Chris on it in America.
Shoot. I'm just gonna back up while we do this. Okay, Tom covered it.
Going up front?
Come on up, somebody.
Someone gotta leave.
You're the one who
I do this the 4-H meetings, I can do it.
Come on, don't forget your hat.
I have to go up there.
Go on, bro.
I'm being representing.
Come on, Brody. There you go.
All the way to the front.
Yep, you can. Yep, perfect. There you go.
The flag's right there behind you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a true forest member, I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands for larger service,
and my health for better living, for my club,
my community, my country, and my world.
I need to get my
Who are you?
And as you know, Lori is out sick, but she's gonna watch and do this.
So she did submit minutes. So if anyone would like to review them before we approve them, let me know.
Did everyone else have a chance to take a look at them?
You want me to read them?
I just skimmed through. There's a couple of spelling errors, but other than the spelling errors, that's all I have.
Does she normally read through?
No.
I didn't think so, yeah,
No,
okay.
usually she sent them out earlier, but she sent them out today
Wonderful.
in a Pages document, and I couldn't open it, so I sent it 2 hours ago.
Oh, gosh. All right.
Yeah, there's a few spelling errors, some names and stuff.
Would you like to make a motion?
To approve the secretary minutes from the last meeting. Maybe somebody could circle spelling errors and.
Well, that's an email a while back that said it did not matter if there was spelling errors. Julie Green sent that out, she's like, you not focus on spelling.
Well, if it's names, does it matter?
No,
Okay. Do we have a second?
not according to that.
Second.
Okay. Got a second over there? Any discussion aside from what we already had?
And that case is correct. It's up to the people. Just because I notice it, I will correct them.
Okay.
Submit them.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Motion passed. Treasurer report.
So Lisa is our treasurer, and she is in Hawaii this week. So I know it's terrible she has to be there, but she has also accepted the position of our QuickBooks bookkeeper. So rather than having a very complicated flow chart between the office, the QuickBooks person, and the treasurer, hopefully she's on board to give it a try, because she has not done that capacity yet. So she's on board to give it a try. So we'll see if we can get our QuickBooks updated with that. At this point, it's about 1.5 years behind, but still able to be caught up.
And then on to Thomas Stratton.
I would love to go first, but I think let's have Freshwater go if you guys want to. If you're gonna stay for my part of the conversation after, I would appreciate it. But okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to let you guys go first if you want to.
We're good.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, so I have a few points that I want to share with everyone tonight. As noted in the minutes from the last meeting, I requested that we try to find, as I have every meeting and every time I probably see everybody, that we get another director for communication and expressive arts. We do have an application for the presentation day chair, but we do not have a director. And as stated in our memo and in the plan, we don't have a director for that position. We don't have the event. And now I'm getting down to the point where we will need to send out a full memo again to state that we're not going to be holding presentation day. So we really need to find someone so Jenna can participate in being the presentation day chair. And at this point, I'm willing to work with anybody that's willing. Youth and adults are both qualified and capable of applying. So if you have any questions now, feel free to do so, or you can talk to me after the meeting. Great. Thank you, Jenna, for applying. I'm very excited about seeing you being the presentation day chair. You've done so great on other chair positions. Sweet. Great. So we definitely need someone to fill that role. Okay, so I have several things to go over. Namely, the first one is tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. Who knows the 4-H does a Giving Tuesday matching program? Yes. Lucas is very well aware of that. Lucas, you want to give your 2 cents on that real quick since you're the resident expert?
Sure. So the California 4-H Foundation gave $20,000 this year to be matched. So any donations made starting midnight tonight will be matched to a club will be matched by the California 4-H Foundation. So if you donate like $500, the club will get $1,000.
Right. So that's happening tonight at midnight. Thank you so much. We have some stuff online, and I'm going to push out. Hopefully by the time this meeting is over, people are still up looking at Facebook. I put together a small little video of all of what we've done between the very beginning, July 1st, to currently right now with 4-H in Humboldt County. And I have a few more edits, but I might be able to show it to you. It's pretty cool what we've done so far this year. And we want to continue to support those efforts, especially if they can be duplicated in the amount of funds and resources that are available. So Giving Tuesday. So some things that I've been up to, and then I'll work into some of the actual management team functions. Past my report is working in Del Norte quite often. Usually I go up to Del Norte once a week, and I'm looking at scheduling some times where I'm up there and then staying the night and staying another day, the day after. So that'll be coming up this winter, most likely, whether I choose to or not, because who knows, the road might slip out or what have you might take place. And that's something I'm prepared to do and have been doing. I'm very excited for, because there's 2 different in-school programs that are taking place up there, and working with 2 different after-school programs that are coming up for the rest of the winter. It's a very exciting movement. This last week we had a Thanksgiving feast, which they call the 4-H Friendship Feast for the Uncharted Shores Academy. So there was 180 kids, youth, and over 250 people, including their family members. And the entire day we had stations of activities that included parts of the meal, which was a stone soup. So it was, if you've ever heard of the book Stone Soup, they prepared all the things together, and it was a very great bonding experience for the school as well as all the teachers. All the teachers were highly active and motivated to make it happen and take place. And it's a prime example of what can happen in 4-H, not just in the community club model, but in traditional and non-traditional in-school models as well. North Coast Youth Summit is coming up. We've held a planning meeting. We've held ambassador meetings, both here in Humboldt and in Del Norte. And they're both on board. Obviously, we have our ambassadors here on board tonight representing the leadership committee as well as North Coast Youth Summit. And I'm very excited for that, as I've been a part of North Coast Youth Summit for 3 years now. I'm working on the 4th, and the 4th year with a small amount of capacity, Shanna has stepped up, and with Jonathan and the ambassador team, it's going to make a great go at this North Coast Youth Summit. Changes that took place, but I'll let someone else come up with or speak with those opportunities. Okay, and the last thing before I get into management team part is there are 2 speakers we have here that we purchased from Costco. They were relatively cost effective, and they are going to be available for checkout. We're working right now on getting connectivity between this speaker and the same other one with the mixing board. So rather than that huge lunky thing you see at Lamb Barbecue that we can lug everywhere and take to presentation day, etc., we're going to have a smaller unit. Hopefully we can get it all so where it's on like a rollaway of some sort. So this could be a unit by itself with just a microphone. So you could just take this with a microphone somewhere if you'd like. Or there's a larger capacity availability with 2 of them and the mixer. So you can have a wireless mic and other mics. Yeah. So
Anyways, turn it into a backpack so you have it on the back.
that's a great idea. Actually, I'm sure there's a way to make it into a backpack. It's a good thought. I'll let you do that. So if you would like to utilize that, please let us know. It's just another tool, another piece of equipment resource we're excited to provide to everybody as we're updating some of our equipment. And the last thing before management team portions, we have new curriculum. The curriculum's right here, and as we're working tonight and you've finished your meal, just kind of look through them, try to keep them together, but I would really like help, since Jennifer wasn't here today and she's trying to wrap up enrollment. We have 33 members and adults somewhere in between that are not complete, but they're pending. And as of this time last year, there was a lot more than that. And I'm very excited for that, because we're going to be able to pay the state our fees a month early. And that's really, really exciting for me. No idea how exciting that is. And the last part is my management team presentation about some funding. Katrina and I worked on this a little bit. Katrina's not on the budget meeting tonight, but on the agenda tonight as the budget chair. But if you see this, please go ahead and grab it. This is 2 documents front and back, or 1 document if you'd like to see it together. But essentially, I've pared down the past document that I passed out that was 4 pages into 1 on the back side here. The first side is our investment account and all of our financial assets, which you've all probably seen in the grant before. It's going to go into this program as well. And this other side is a new piece of information, or updated piece of information with numbers. So just to go over that real quickly, we look in 2017, 2018 for our enrollment fee investment plan. This year, I anticipate an estimated $3,950 or $45 to be spent on reinvesting funds from our investment account and the interest and dividends back into the 4-H program by way of fee reduction for the adults. And next year, what I'm proposing to the budget committee, as it's something I did last year and we're working together, is that we pay for the volunteer enrollment fees as well as the first year member enrollment fees. So if you look to 1819 and 1920 in our investments over the right-hand side, you can see that we increased that amount by estimated numbers for how much we're growing in the last 2 years, which I'll provide some numbers in a second, from nearly $9,000 to $11,500. That's really cool, you guys. The funds that you produce at Lamb Barbecue that go into an investment account, they typically were sitting there just building over time, which is great because no one was paying attention to them. So we have dividends and interest that we're able to take off of them to use for this. And our current investments that we have for the Humboldt County 4-H program, we increased year over year $17,953 in dividends and in interest. And that is a 9.22% increase. And over 6 months, we have $6,074.86 that we've increased. So it's been a really good year for us as far as investments are concerned. The Fig Tucker scholarship actually has increased 15.5%. So that's, these are medium risk investments, and they're doing quite well. The budget committee, if you're interested, when we hold that next meeting, we're going to be discussing what those investments look like and how we're going to move forward with them. But we had an increase of $67,671.69. Again, amazing year. Hoping when we look at this document that this number will be able to keep up, or we'll be able to keep up with this number as we grow in enrollment. Right now, it looks like we're able to do so with still funds in reserve, even if we had a 2007, 2008 year. So again, the numbers we are trying to explain to you pretty simply, because it's rather complex. We're looking really good as far as investing more money back into the program. So if you have any questions about that or other suggestions about how we might invest those funds, please attend the budget committee meeting. Lastly, for management team budget update, this is the time where we're going to hand out, or at least we're going to send out digital versions as well, but I wanted to hand out physical copies for everybody to see and look at so you know what type of forms we have available. And this is a budget, committee budget form. So for each committee, they submit a budget in January that we, or excuse me, they submit a budget in December that we review in January. And that way we have, at the January meeting, a fiscal budget to present and we can pass the budget at our March meeting so that we can be prepared for next year. And this will be the second year that we've passed the budget. Second year that we've passed the budget ahead of the year to come, which is again very exciting. We haven't done that. I don't think in a very long time. Not that I can. So with that said, and making sure I check my notes and not miss anything.
Just out of curiosity, why is their numbers already filled in?
It's a fillable form, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is a fillable form, so it shows you what the match will be.
Before you print it out.
Yeah, I just wanted everyone to have the opportunity to see what committees do and how we function fiscally. How responsible we are. All right. And then today, in our report and business meeting at the end, we discussed a few things about our bank account. Our bank account had Sandy and somebody else that I don't know, and two other people that I do not know that are no longer part of 4-H and no longer employed. So we're changing the executive on the account to myself, Serena, and Yana, meaning we don't have check signing power, but we do have executive powers of the account so that we can make changes without having to go through the management team. So we can add checking account members, etc. So one of those things we need to do, and I'll allow for to take in place in business today, is we need to add those executives. We need to add Joan Crandall as a check signer and anyone else that would like to become a check signer. And then we need to change the name in our bylaws so that it says Humboldt County Management Team versus Humboldt County Council, because we still haven't done that yet. So our checks don't look the same. So when we go to try to cast something that says Management Team or Humboldt County 4-H, we get asked about it every time. So we need to change it so it's updated. Any questions? Yeah.
Just for formality, usually the banks require a copy of the minutes that actually says all that stuff with the motions.
That's why we're doing it here.
Those motions right now?
Not
Are they
not in my report. We'll
agenda?
do it, and yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, or we'll do it today at the end. Business. New business. Great. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Was there another signer besides Joan that you signed, or was it?
Anybody else that's on the management team can sign. I think she's already
Or,
on.
I was gonna say, what about Lisa Russ as the treasurer? Wouldn't we have?
She's already.
She is already, okay.
Yeah, we already worked.
Okay. I'll have to check.
So now we're moving into some conversation about Big Tucker Scholarship Fund.
Great.
I think the conversation there is it a similar discussion to what we had last time? And what we're looking for right now are members to serve on the committee and to create a rubric per se, or a standard that there have been guidelines before, but we need to, I think, if I'm coming from a teacher, you want them to be, your rubric to be very just, what word am I looking for? Thank you. We want them to be objective, not subjective. There's the magic word that I couldn't put together. And so I can't speak to it as clearly probably as you can, Thomas, or anyone else who's had experience with Big Tucker in the past. But do you want to?
Yeah, so that's one part of it. What we noticed during this conversation last meeting was that we have bylaws with Big Tucker and we have to abide by. And at this point, the bylaws state that the council is in charge. So they have to change their bylaws to say management team. And then they also need, or we also need to have a process on the management team to appoint people to the Big Tucker Scholarship Committee. Because as of this point, their bylaws reflect that, but we don't have any verbiage that reflects that we are in charge in our bylaws, only by the establishment of the account. meaning we just have to add some words to our bylaws. So part of the discussion we can have right now is, where would Feig Tucker lie in responsibility for this organized body, this volunteer management organization? Is it with the executive committee? Do they decide and work together to propose individuals, or appoint rather, individuals to that scholarship committee? Is it incentives and recognition? I guess that we just need to have that discussion.
How autonomous should the foundation stay, though? It seems like to some extent, like after we appoint the people, they should stay relatively autonomous, right? 'Cause
Correct.
it's the foundation. Okay.
And I do believe we're looking for 3 people, right? So I've had one name come in so far, unless I missed an email. And that is, that one person is Anita Huff, who has been in 4-H for a long time.
Jed's mother, right?
Yeah.
There's another one in the minutes,
Oh,
Gary Markegard.
Oh, that was a good idea.
okay, and I didn't read that, sorry.
Um,
I don't know Gary either.
and it's very specific to the positions that are there. So
Oh, there it is, Anita Huff.
there
and Gary
are
Markegard.
specific
Right,
positions
sorry.
that need to be filled and requirements for that position to be filled. So one being that I remember, because they're not in front of me, is that they have to be a past all-star. In this case, we'll have to say leadership role or ambassador all-star.
Wes Hodges, he expressed interest.
Oh, yeah, last year he did. Yeah, last year.
He has the,
Background.
All-star, yeah.
He is a diamond
he
star.
has a diamond star, yeah.
So in order to serve, they have to have been, so would that preclude Anita then?
So that's what we can decide and have a
Okay.
conversation about is, as of right now, because we have control of their bylaws as well, we can decide what that structure looks like. So we need to have another discussion right now, kind of about what that would look like to propose bylaws to them so that they can discuss and pass.
Well, I remember it was like one all-star, one person from like the county, sort of supervisors, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, and, or some other public officer.
Yep, and Ag Credit and Farm Bureau.
Yeah, and so was Gary Markegard gonna be the person, I mean, he's no longer works here, but he used to, right?
Yeah, I don't know what role he would fill, because I don't think.
Oh, he's Kiwanis.
Kiwanis? Thank you, okay.
How often,
I think 2 times a year.
Was it 2?
I think it's only 2.
I know nothing about the process.
Sure.
That might,
So.
We went over it really fast
Yeah.
last meeting.
would it be helpful to have the bylaw? So we can actually see them and look at them.
would it be too long to wait till our January meeting and have that in front of us, have the bylaws and actually make those changes then?
And Dorina was anticipating being here, but she's still down with family.
Okay. Because, yeah, if we had Anita, Gary, and Wes, I mean, if everyone agreed on that, that'd be an easy piece, as long as it fit in and we could change the wording and be ready to go, because the deadline for Feig Tucker's end of February, is that correct?
Sorry, yeah. No,
And-
March.
And, well, beginning March,
We
early
send it
March?
out in February, I think.
Okay. So that would, January 22nd, that would give us March 2nd, okay, thank you. Yeah, because I agree, I think having the bylaws in front of us so we can look at exactly how it's worded.
So maybe we should just table that part of it, but is there any further discussion about, do we want to continue to keep those positions or titles requirements in place? Is there any discussion about that, Shannon?
I really liked the way it was spread out. I mean, maybe we need to change the wording to make it broader so we can ask more people, but I would suggest that we move forward on asking all 3 of those people. They all sound awesome to me. Because if we have them already in place, we can work on the bylaws later, but they would be in place to start selection. And they probably need time to think about it. And if they don't want to do it, then we would know by the January meeting, hopefully, so we can move on finding other people.
And who would be who are the other folks on the committee right now, now that your mouth's full? Okay, so Wes, Anita, Gary, Serena.
and then they rotate
The,
the supervisor.
Okay, and then one of the supervisors?
they asked, what's the name from Fortuna?
Rex?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Rex? Okay,
That's what I remember Tarina saying.
okay. And what was Julie's last?
She said that she asked him,
Halsey?
but she also asked
Oh,
DY.
thank you.
the most recent
You know
one.
her.
I can't picture her. No, I don't know that I did know her. Where's she from? Where is she?
That's credit.
He was at the Liberty barbecue, so I remembered it.
Oh, okay.
James Hunt's daughter.
I remember.
Healthy. I am so brain dead. My apologies. Okay, is there anyone else have anything to add to that? Are we happy with that? I mean, for right now?
Do I need to make an official motion, just so it's like a board action that everybody agrees upon?
Move away.
Okay, I move that we invite, Gary Markegard, Wes Hodges, and Anita Huff, thank you, I didn't want to get it wrong, to join the foundation, the Prince Custer Memorial Foundation.
Second?
I second that.
Okay, discussion? The only piece, can I just jump in with this? This is my only devil's advocating is, did we say it out loud enough so that somebody who might be interested has an interest? You know, so that someone could say, oh, I would have done it if I'd known, you know what I mean? Should we put out on Facebook in the interim, or we?
I think we should wait until we actually get to the point where we have those established and set.
Okay.
Because prior to that, there was not a process. There were people from the City Custer Scholarship. So it's something that has a sketch.
Okay, so we're kosher then, just asking these three and moving from there. Okay. Super. Oh, don't.
Do we need to do the all first?
Yeah, thank you. That was discussion. All in favor? Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Where are we now? Open forum. I think it's time for freshwater 4-H. I'm going to scoot out of the way. I tried to sit here and he wouldn't let me, and now I have to keep moving. Our cardio for the night.
Just out of it, you're out of it too. I'm in, I was over to see myself.
Oh, that's, no, I read that long.
How long? I'd say whatever he would say.
They have precious. Where are you going to point the camera? Because I like it when you put this.
Right now, it's just.
Blue Lake has the blue.
I can go back and forth.
Right?
Look at what?
Are you pointing for Sophie?
Oh, indeed, and I are in high school. Oh, I know, a knucklehead.
Vacation.
Hi, my name is Jenna Sadler. I'm the president of the Freshwater 4-H Club. This is my second year being president. Our club consists of 72 members and counting. We meet the second Monday of every month at Freshwater School at 7 p.m. Our club showed leadership at county level last year. I chaired Baby Week and toward the end of the coast. So far this year, Brody is the county ambassador. The focus of our club is to get all of our members involved and visible in the community as much as possible, as well as have them to learn as much as possible at each event and project group attended. So my name is Jen Sadler. I'm president. Brody Van Blank is the vice president. Charlie Roberts is the corresponding secretary. Katie Collins is the attendance secretary. Anders Johnson is the treasurer. Nia Davies Hughes is the reporter. Sarah Davies Hughes is the quartermaster. Lacey Taylor is the quartermaster. Corinne Wilson is the healthy living officer. Brennan Davies Hughes is recreation. And Maya Morris Slattery is the sergeant at arms.
Many people believe that 4-H is all about agriculture and livestock. When I suggest joining 4-H to my friends, they say no because they can't use hands. They're not agricultural based. Some projects offers are cooking, cycling, field trips, photography, beach, science, sheep, forestry, rifle, engineering, hiking, record books, and sewing. Here's some pictures from our field trip project group. We go around the community and visit fun places, and we learn. We have fun. At Miranda's Rescue, we help clean out cat litter, and that wasn't
Field trip.
These are pictures from our cooking group. We meet there's a lot of younger people in our group, so we split up into 2 groups. Me and Sarah are both junior leaders, and everybody just gets their hands dirty and has fun. Another project group we have is cycling. We go sometimes out of the area. We've gone to Prairie Creek to do rides. We go usually around 20 miles, and people from all ages are in that group, and it's really fun. This is our rifle group. We go out to the range a few times a year, almost once a month. Yeah. And we shoot. This year we're going to be learning different methods of shooting. We've been doing a lot of standing up. We're going to start sitting and laying down. So, exciting. Then, of course, we do have livestock. So we have some pictures of us with our sheep and a really dirty pig. They're pigs. They like mud. In our livestock group, everybody learns and has fun, and then we show them at fair.
Okay. So we also have a lot of fundraising to help our general fund. And so in the past, we've done bake sales. So our major fundraiser is at the end of the year, where we have a scholarship dessert auction, where 75% of the proceeds go to our graduating seniors.
At Freshwater 4-H, we know how to have fun. This year, on November 4th, we had a swim party at our gated community pool. We swam around, played games, and slid down the slide. Last Christmas, Oscar Che invited us to be on their float, the trucker. We also roller skate at the Louisville Municipal Auditorium.
Okay, well, we have the Dendron Parade that we participate in each year, and we try to feed some livestock.
Okay, so recreation includes many fun games and activities. Every general meeting is an opportunity for fun and laugh. We occasionally have a get to know you. These pictures, you're playing a game called Honey, I Love You. In this game, there are honeys that ask, honey, if you love me, would you please just give me a smile? The other person should respond by saying, honey, I love you, but I just can't smile with a straight face. The honey can laugh or do something silly to make the other person laugh.
So every month we try to do some community service, or put it in our meeting. So this is just some pictures of us at the three-course cleanup. We also do, I collect clothes for Baby Week. We make cards for seniors and veterans. We go caroling at Christmas. And do food drives. We also have Thanksgiving baskets where we collect canned foods and we give them to a family in need.
In conclusion, I hope you've learned a lot about our club, and we welcome everyone to check us out at our monthly meeting at Freshwater School at the first or second Monday of every month at 7 o'clock. Do you guys have any questions?
I just want to say, I read in the Gram about the three-corner cleanup. The following week, on my way to Eureka, I detour and drove by. It was beautiful, nice job. Thank you.
And it never really looks bad. They always keep it up.
Yes, they keep it up.
Yeah.
Twice a year, yeah.
Thank you.
We have about,
Open forum.
inform about 4 or 5 more minutes, if anybody has anything that they want to bring up. I learned how to pull a calf this week. Our teen mother, calved, on her due date at 3 in the morning, and she calved successfully, which was a bullet dodged. It's a bull calf, thank you, good. Thank you. We did not need another heifer. Because I have a daughter in college who still has that beef hoarding gene on way strong. So it'll be someone's fair project next year.
Was it the first one you had at your farm?
It was the first one we had to watch closely because she was 18 months old, not 2. So there were lots of lessons learned about taking care of that early. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to thank the Humboldt County 4-H for, letting clubs not have to budget for the lamb barbecue, for being able to turn in our receipts. That took a huge chunk out of our fundraising efforts. And we didn't need to do when the county was making so much money, and it was a little chunk. So I think that was really great.
Nice.
And helpful to everybody's budget, not everybody.
Get donations, right. Do we have a total yet on what was made, or?
Yes, we're still waiting on a few more funds, especially the meat that is going to be purchased by Ferndale Meat.
Oh.
That's up in the air about how much money that is.
Nice.
Last year was the first year we purchased everything that was left over, minus a few things.
Great.
So we're looking potentially a total of $13,000 with all expenses. But in there, so that's pretty good.
So 13,000 net? Wow.
But hopefully that means the meat prices are good, because that's really what we're gonna get. And if anyone doesn't know, we used to sell the meat. You probably wanted to buy meat in the past. We used to sell that frozen meat at the lamb barbecue, but we no longer do that just because we don't have a meat handler's license. We can't package or process or transfer meat anywhere. So we avoided $10,000 fine whenever they caught us, and we get the money all up at front, all at once, by getting it purchased by Ferndale Meat.
Nice.
We usually have a lot of excess that we don't.
Typically, we have quite a few over that we don't need to barbecue. By no means is that means we don't need the continued donations, but it definitely helps with coming up with some funds at the very end of that event.
And it was always nice to be able to, and that was always an extra kind of job that somebody had to oversee to make sure that they were getting everything weighed and making sure it was still frozen. And I remember, I do know that Bert Van Duzer went around to everybody, hey, I've got half a lamb left, you know, and that money was important to the club. This is or to the group, this is nice to have it just one fell swoop.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Yep, very grateful for that.
Nice.
And if we're still in open forum, I didn't share my numbers earlier with you about where we are in enrollment. At 145 days of 365 days, starting from July 1st, we are at a total of individual member and member and adults involved, 555 individuals. Last year, that number was 340.
Wow.
So all of you in your clubs are doing a fantastic job of recruiting and keeping members involved in the community club program. The numbers usually, so 15, 16 was 238, and then we jumped up to 340, and now we're up to 555, and that's what these numbers are estimated from, or those numbers increased. And the reason why it's increasing so much is not because we're getting a bunch of new members, but because we're retaining those new members year over year.
Good.
So that's a huge part, and I anticipate seeing more. So just to break it down a little further, youth last year was 234, this year is 368. Last year was 106 for volunteers, adult volunteers, and this year is 187, with still those pending for its online system.
And we have 2 schools that are involved. We've got Coastal Grove and then the Del Norte site.
Yeah, and so those are separate
Nice.
numbers. So.
Oh, those are separate from this?
Yeah, so this is just Humboldt. So Del Norte right now is at 184 total involvement. Last year they're at 177, and typically they have quite a few people sign up at the very end of the year, new people.
Wonderful. Anybody else? All right, then I think that moves us on to committee report.
Yep.
So, program development team civic engagement. We still need a civic engagement committee.
And communications and executive, or excuse me, communication and expressive arts, which I did not put on there.
Okay.
Or we did not put on there.
No, we did not. I gotta take a fall for that too.
Civic engagement, what presentation day is under?
Civic engagement is the Washington focus, leadership Washington focus trips. Those applications are open, they're out there, they would put out on the gram, but there's no one as of right now to select those for advance.
What was the one that was forgotten?
The communication and expressive art.
Which is presentation day.
Which is presentation.
And I did ask Terry Wallace about civic engagement. She just can't right now. Her elderly parents are pretty elderly. She did say that down the road that was because she was very active in the past with 4-H exchange and domestic exchange and all that.
Has anybody reached out to like some of the larger clubs, like Ferndale has a pretty large club and quite a few leaders. Has anybody expressed interest in them?
I've been to 3 other club meetings, other clubs, and I have said something each time.
Yeah.
So I'll be that anybody.
Times 3.
Times 3.
Leadership. That's you, Galoots, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Share with us today.
So I'll start it off. This year, for the North Coast Youth Summit, our theme is be a superhero. And so some of the things that we kind of plan on doing is doing some workshops with superheroes and then finding keynote speakers within the community that have been like a superhero in the community. And we're trying to get the point across to where like you don't have to have superpowers to be a superhero in the community. We want people to start recognizing that.
And building off his point, my mom is taking over as the lead coordinator this year, and she's changing a few things up. Like we're going to have certain sections, coordinators for like the workshops, and like on the day of it'll be more organized, because last year, like Thomas said, he was in charge of everything. Everyone was constantly asking him questions. We're hoping to designate information to certain sections of the summit to certain people.
Nice.
And also another thing, very important thing, is the meetings that we've come up with are going to be the first and third Monday of every month from now to March.
So you have a potential of 6 meetings?
And also the first meeting starting is next Monday, December 4th. Yeah, on the 4th. At 5 to 7. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, I'm good real quick. Add onto that, coordinator positions, like Johnson said, I'll take on lead coordinator. Of course, the staff is Thomas and Dorina, but the other positions are a site coordinator, which is just an adult who'd like to help them. outreach and disabilities, Malachi volunteered for, but if there's an adult who would like to help them.
And Brody,
And Brody, okay. And then, food, you just literally coordinate the breakfast and lunch and be there to answer any questions, be like the point person.
and Gail came up, piped up. We haven't connected over
Okay.
9 minutes yet, sorry.
So, and the workshops, registration, room host advisor, which there is an instructional video that you just be there to answer questions, because each room, there's a workshop, there's a teenager who's in that room introducing the person. Then the opening, closing ceremony, keynotes person, lunch activities person, prizes and takeaways, and then Grace has agreed to be the donations person.
And we already have two good ideas for guest speakers. Keynote speakers, sorry. Yeah.
You guys want me to report on those? Or no? We'll wait till the meeting.
It's being
Yeah.
Okay, so as an ambassador team this year, we have several goals. I guess sort of some of the overarching things that we noticed was that in Humboldt County 4-H, there's really not a lot of older youth that are getting involved and staying involved. So that's one of our goals. We really want to target the older members and try and get them involved in some of the leadership roles. We also just kind of want to make it more known to the community. I know that we were selling the paper clovers at Tractor Supply, and I was actually shocked at how many people didn't know what 4-H was. And so I think as an ambassador team, that's one of the things that we really want to try and do. Also, we would like to kind of work with the younger members to show them the other sides of 4-H other than just agriculture, so like the leadership aspects, the public speaking, things like that. And overall, just kind of create a more community vibe with 4-H in Humboldt County and make it kind of a bigger deal than most people make it out to be.
Yeah, we're gonna try and like encourage younger members to like step up and like get more involved with 4-H so they stay in it, and like encourage also the older population to become more involved.
So then going off of that, one of our goals is to get into the community. So we are ordering jackets to wear, which will unify us as a team. And also when we go to events, people will be able to see that this is like, that we have this unified front and they can ask us questions and like to get 4-H out there more than when we go to our clubs, we keep them, and to encourage people to ask questions about 4-H or encourage members to want to be an ambassador or to learn about it.
And Jonathan, you said your meetings were going to be on the 1st and 3rd Monday here from 5 to 7. So December 4th and December 18th. And then in January, that would be the 1st or the 8th.
We probably switch it to the 8th.
So the 8th and the 22nd?
Yeah, the 8th and the what, 22nd?
22nd?
The 22nd would be our,
That's the same night as ours, which you could go 5 to 6 and then
Right.
you could do it before. Do 5 to 6:30 and come in a
We could
little
do-
late. That's why I was asked, that was just my curiosity.
Okay, I hadn't even thought of
Because
that.
otherwise, if you did the 1st and the 15th, that no school, that's Martin Luther King, the no school, I mean, it's not a big deal. Just, I'm not trying to be pushy, I'm just curious to put it on my calendar.
I hadn't gotten that far.
Yeah.
I would probably, even though it sounds kind of redundant, I would probably move the one back to the 8th. Possibly, but keep the other one on the 3rd, just because people would be planning to be that.
So the 8th and the 15th, so one,
Yeah.
1 week?
I think I would rather do that, because that way if people miss the first one, that's fine. But we would keep one on the night, at least that we're used to doing it, rather than move one. But I don't want to do New Year's Day, that sounds too hectic.
And then February, that'd put you at the 5th and the 19th, which, but that 19th through the 25th is the, 20, sorry. It's holiday, it's the week off, not that it, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just, okay.
If people are used to it being on the 1st and the 3rd, I find it better to move it around.
The 5th and the 19th?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, that's all up for discussion. I'm not a dictator, so if people come to me and they say this is not working, I'm willing to move stuff around.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to hear back from several people on the committee, so this is all.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like it's pretty
plan.
Yeah, you've got a plan. That's huge.
We have a tentative date too of March, is it 17th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, March 17th. But again, we're waiting to hear back from College of the Redwoods.
Everyone will be wearing green.
Yeah.
Wearing of the green.
Yeah.
Jonathan, do you want to explain what your idea was for the poster?
Okay, so my idea for the posters, since we did building bridges last year.
This is last year's poster.
Yeah, this is last year's poster, what was shown to everyone. What I would do is, since we built the bridge, we would keep the bridge and leave what we already built, because we already built this community. Take out the crane, finish the bridge, and replace the plane with a superhero. And change the ads, of course, and yeah, simple as that. Maybe put another superhero flying, but something like that. Like, we finish the bridge, make the superhero right here, change this to, what was the exact word?
Be a superhero.
Be a superhero. So we put that right here.
And Jonathan came up with last year is to keep the bottom portion of the poster the same pretty well every year, so that people recognize that as the North Coast Youth Summit poster, and so the artwork on top changes, which I thought was brilliant.
But the only thing we change for the bridge is take off the crane.
Right, for this year, yeah. Or whatever we end up doing. You and I are gonna sit around on a computer, and you never know how you end up actually.
We spent a good chunk of time on this poster. Let's use it.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
All right. Anything else, leadership? Thank you. Moving on to animal sciences, Sarah Chapman.
Don't have much to report, to be honest with you. I was added to a couple of emails between myself and Thomas and Cindy at the Redwood Acres Fair, and I haven't had a actually have a conversation with her or to follow up on the thread. It's been a busy couple of weeks, so I hope to get that soon. I know there's some changes coming that are in the works at Redwood Acres for this upcoming fair. I don't know that anything has been set in stone or decided, or that they're ready to announce just yet. I know, like I said, there's been a lot of discussions and a lot of back and forth. I think it was needing to be taken to their management team or their first be, and as soon as that is all out of the clear and can be discussed, I'm sure that was everybody.
Great. Thank you. Shanna, STEM?
You want to start off? Well, I'll start off. So,
I'm trying to remember what date it was.
Okay.
But at CR Science Night.
College of the Redwoods Science Night.
Yeah, College of the Redwoods Science Night. My mother and I and Malachi and Thomas and Serena were all in the Humanities building, one of the buildings at CR, and we did a Lego workshop. And we, Thomas and Doreen also spread the word with 4-H. And I don't know if Thomas has the video up or, and he printed out these adorable little pamphlets that shows all the clubs on a map. But it has Lego minifigures affiliated with each club. So I thought.
And on the back, with the phone number and the contact person for each club.
And we had
That is
300 kids come in and out approximately.
Plus parents.
Yeah, and it was super cool.
I give extra credit to my science students for attending, and they talked and talked and talked and talked about the Legos.
We could not believe it. Sometimes we couldn't even walk through the rooms. There were so many people in the room. Like, literally, we would have the kids just building with the Legos, and sometimes parents too. And it was, a little bit directed build, a little bit of lesson, but mostly whatever they wanted to do.
Let me clarify.
Go ahead.
So what we assigned them to do was build a Lego city, and we were hoping for them to just build up, because we had sections like the aquarium, the farmland, like the forest, the
park.
Yeah, the park, but
the car factory.
They ended up just making random things. Like, one kid took apart another kid's house, and we were like, no, and then he came back and he made a T-Rex. So, and it was super cool. It was really big. Unfortunately. Thomas did the video. So
it was 4 hours of building, and however many popular.
I love this movie. That wasn't supposed to be when it
Cutie patooties.
That's really loud.
Who doesn't love Legos?
I didn't notice the boom boom.
Yeah.
Great. We had to kick people out at the end. We're literally like, we need to go home. So that's what we built in 4 hours, is that whole city there.
Wow.
So as STEM coordinator, I have to point out, the most common thing we heard was, I didn't know 4-H wasn't just animals, and we had the Miranda 4-H backboard up, and they kept looking at the projects. People would come over and look at what projects we had, and I say, like, does the club in Arcata Bottoms have this? Does the club in Arcata Bottoms have that? Does Ferndale Club have this? So we would send them to talk to Thomas and Dorena, because Jonathan, Malachi, and I were just helping kids as fast as we could and trying to make sure the Legos didn't walk out the door. But it was amazing how people responded and how many people said, I thought my kids might join 4-H to raise a cow when they're 13, but now I realize they can join now. So it felt like it was really good outreach too.
And it segues right into what your leadership team, what you guys are all talking about doing, is getting the word out that 4-H is more than just livestock.
Also, there were parents who were like, I didn't know Legos were in 4-H. How do I get it? And I'm like, you can start it. Just
Yeah.
And also, that was on October 20th on Friday.
So I highly recommend that we do it again next year. Any workshop that people want to give, it doesn't have to be Legos, but be prepared, because people were very enthusiastic to participate. Not just watch something be done, but to actually be like hands-on.
How many Lego pieces do you have to get? Do you have to buy more?
The whole thing. I was gonna say, burn shag carpet.
No,
My mom
the entire workshop fit in 3 bins this big, including base plates and sorting bins, 2 of which were totally full of Legos, but they were heavy.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
You can do a Lego drive in some of our.
No, I already have too many Legos. You can in your club, yes. In fact, I have a whole bin that I'll donate.
Yeah, as far as Shannon is concerned, she said that all you have to do is put it out there.
Totally. People start bringing you their children's Legos who left to college.
I don't know.
That's a great idea.
So many different sizes though.
Don't get Legos, don't get Mega Bucks, just say Legos. And the other thing, here in the
work
office,
with Lego.
here in the office, Thomas recently pulled out the old Mindstorm, the original Mindstorm. It's like a $250 set with the servo box and the motors and everything. It's here to borrow. If
We haven't
try it.
yet, but
The gears and everything are universal.
You're missing a wing in it.
Yeah, there's one thing missing that we noticed, but everything else seems to be there. So if your club just wanted to bring it for kids to do as an activity, just to try it, there's that too. And that's seriously like a $250 kit. If you buy the one now, it's like $350. So it's worth borrowing it before you invest into the motors and everything. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's fun. So that's
I'm done.
And to be honest, I don't know how much more STEM I'm gonna do, because I was really excited about doing STEM, but now that I'm doing Northwest Youth Summit, I'm sitting here looking at my time and I
think that was a very great success for the start of it, our SIM director, so. Thank you.
I know he said start.
Always open-ended. Okay.
And I think
We just have the business take care of the item executive and check signers and.
Yes, that, whole bank thing, make that motion? Somebody else wanna make that
we
motion?
need to make a motion for that.
It has to be official and then it has to. So I make a motion that we formally change the name from Humboldt County Council to Humboldt County Management Team on our bank account, and that we include Joan Crandall as president in addition to Lisa Russ as the signers on the account, and that we make Thomas and Dorina the executives on the account.
And Yana.
And who?
Yana.
And Yana, sorry, I forgot Yana Valakovic.
Do we have a second anywhere in there?
Not every.
Second. Okay. All right. All in favor?
Only discussion.
I thought, don't we vote and then, oh, no.
Have
We
discussion.
did discussion, you're right.
I'm giving you a hard time because.
No, it's discussion, then vote. Sorry, I was gonna vote, then have discussion, which wouldn't do us any good. Any discussion? Are we happy, Candace?
I have one thing I want to say for discussion. It's really nice when there's more than 2 signers on the account, because all 4-H checks have to be signed by 2 people. And if one of those people is out of town, that basically organization. So I would highly recommend that at least one other person be found to be signer.
We'll have 5 once we get around. Because Julie Houtby and Mary Ann Renner.
Are staying.
Yeah.
That should also be in the motion.
They're already in there.
Okay.
So we don't need to add.
Okay.
But if anyone else would like to be added tonight,
Who else wants to sign a check?
yeah.
All right.
Anybody? Because I have a lot of checks to sign tonight. What about anything tonight? Anyone tonight?
Are you sure you don't want to sign? Because literally you're just,
It'd be,
you don't get the checkbook, but if you
You don't.
checkbook to you, you can sign it.
it wouldn't, if you don't feel comfortable, but otherwise it'd be a
If you're coming to council meetings anyway, it certainly.
That's my,
management team meeting.
that's my challenge is, as part of the discussion, is that I go to Julie and Mary Ann often for many different things. I feel like I'm bugging them, and I try to stick away from them.
Just for this purpose.
Okay.
I'll see if I might not be eligible. I'll talk to you about this.
Okay. Yeah.
All right,
So then we add Katrina.
once she talks to Thomas.
Okay.
Right.
No, we can add it now.
Okay.
I'm saying if we add it now, then it's in the minutes, then it goes to the.
Awesome.
And then it's okay.
Hey.
Otherwise,
So do you want to put that into your motion and add
I
amend?
friendly amendment of adding, what is your form? Katrine Holman to the signing list.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, discussion's over. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Those are sensible. All right.
I realized you said
So
Katrine.
I think we can adjourn our meeting. That was a quick one. Less than a.
This is what happens when we.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. Freshwater, you guys are amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Another potato.
Potato
I'm
too.
allowed to take another potato.
I'm on the third, no, fourth.
I just have a couple of
Yeah. Take home steps for.
amendments that I know
All right.
Are you in eight?
spelling wise.
Yes, thank you.
One that was
Trust. Do you have a second?
I don't know how to
Absolutely.
distribute.
Hey,
So we can meet, right?
I
I
love
have a
the
long drive I'm
Yeah.
going to do.
and I do believe our next
You guys have a black
Yeah.
meeting,
Okay,
So,
We're on the laser
so
break.
my son is
Okay.
interested in it. How would we go about getting more information?
Uh,
Doesn't have to be right now. You
I'm
can
related
email
to
me
you. I get that.
later.
I just-
Okay, so this is who you for us.
So like we're on like the first derivative test, second derivative test, concavity test.
But I got also urgent because he's having a lot of